Welcome to TT from the D podcast. It's Wind Down Wednesday, and I am your host for the evening, TT from the D. I want to thank you firstly for logging on. You could have chosen any other platform to go to. There are several thousand podcasts out there in today's time, but you chose to go to TT from the D podcast, and I'm super excited. Our hot topic for the night is girls' trips. They are important. Now, fellas, you might say, nah, because that means if she's going on a girls' trip, she could be gone for several days. And that means if you have a child or children, that means that the husband or the boyfriend, baby daddy, has to take on the responsibility of being the sole provider for that child or those children. But think about it. It's a moment for that woman to unravel everything that has gone on in her day-to-day life throughout the months, throughout the days, throughout the years, and just sit back and say, you know what? I'm going to take time out and just be with my girlfriends. Some people do daycations where we do, or a staycation. You know, I have a really good girlfriend who's a sister in Christ to me. We've done a daycation before. I'm in Chicago right now as I'm recording this show tonight, but I've been to Chicago with girlfriends before. But there's nothing like that actual feeling of being on a girls' trip. And I'm happy to report that my very first official as a adult girls' trip, where I really understand the meaning behind girls' trip, kicked off last year with an amazing set of young ladies. And we are actually in the planning stages. As of tonight, we'll be meeting up, talking about what we're doing for our second annual girls' trip. Now, it's important. Some people might say, I could deal with it. I could deal without it. It doesn't matter. Let me tell you this. Girl trips allow us to release happy hormones. We laugh. Sometimes we even cry. We say and do things that we normally wouldn't say and do because we feel free. We feel rested. We feel energized. And there's just something about being with a circle of women who are on your same wavelength that allows you to unravel, unwind, and just kick back and relax. And it's very fruitful. Hanging out with your friends can help you release oxytocin, which is I think it's like a neurotransmitter, if some would say, that allows the love or trust hormone to activate. And more oxytocin is released when you're with your friends, right? That can make you happy or feel happy, trusting them, and the generosity that's shared between sisters in the sisterhood. It doesn't have to necessarily be your sisters on your bloodline, but those group of women that you say, hey, that's my sister, right? And some people might say, girls' trips, are they really good for you? Yeah, they actually are. They're giving you the opportunity to bond, reconnect, or connect with someone that you love, respect, admire. It allows you to formulate and solidify friendships. Sometimes it also allows you to see the friendships you think you have that you really don't have. I've heard several scary stories from people I know who went on girls' trips, and some people come back realizing like, wow, these people are not my friend. You also have some people saying, hey, I thought I was closer to one person, and I realized I have more in common with the next person, because now you have that uninterrupted time to just sit back, connect, unwind, and get to know each other intimately, internally, and externally. And it brings out a happy moment for you, I think. It allows us to really get in tune with not only ourselves, but those that we surround ourselves with on a daily basis. You know, you go out with your girlfriends, you might go out for happy hour, you might go out for a lunch date, brunch date, breakfast date, dinner date. Let's go, you know, one of your girlfriends might have just bought a new house, got a new apartment, whatever. You're looking for a reason to celebrate. Hey, let's meet up, let's connect. But you don't have that uninterrupted time, because at the end of that moment, that night, you had a wonderful time. Yes, we're looking forward to doing it again, but we go back to the jungle of life, whatever that looks like. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, like, oh, when you go home, it's a jungle. No, when I'm just saying when you're with your girlfriends, it's like we're adults, but we get the chance to laugh and giggle like kids. Not saying we're doing childish things or foolish things, but we just get the chance to just be ourselves. And it's very helpful. And it's very healthy. As a matter of fact, A study found that having friendships can extend your lifespan. Imagine the people you know that have friendships that have lasted years, decades, right? I love seeing little old ladies together and they say, oh, we've been friends for 50 years and we do this and we do that. I envision that. I'm 46 years old and I envision when I get 70 years old, I believe that there are at least 3 people that I could look at right now and say, you know what? We probably will still be rocking and tripping and traveling together and making it our business to connect in our elderly age, enjoying the finer things in life because we'll be retired. We don't have to wait for school breaks or certain vacations. We'll say, girl, please, I'm getting my retirement check, my pension check, and whatever other check, and let's do it. In today's time, we planning and we putting pennies together, rubbing them together, robbing Peter to pay Paul, whatever that looks like. But it's called planning. It's called planning. And when your squad makes a healthy attempt to put the plan together, I promise you it will always turn out great. Last year, as I said, I had the opportunity to go off and we had a beautiful first girls trip official. And we have been talking about it for at least, I think, 7 years. Yeah, next year we're going to do this. Yeah, okay. And then we delegate. Okay, who going to put the plan together? Who going to do? Okay, let's do this. And then what we realize, everyone has crazy, hectic schedules. We're not going to always be able to appease everyone's schedule. That might mean some people might say, hey, let's put together a 4-day, 3-night trip. What if you can't get 4 days, 3 nights? What if you can only do 3 days, 2 nights? Hell, what if you can only do 2 days, 1 night? I would settle for that 2 days, 1 night than no days, no nights. That's just me. That's just the way I think. But last year we were able to get together for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We flew in early. We took day trips. We had early libations, a beautiful lunch. We connected with our sister from another mother who actually relocated, and we went out to visit her. We had a phenomenal time. And then we had a wonderful evening the next day. We did more things, and it was just like, oh my God. When Sunday came, we just were like, wow. Looking forward to the next opportunity. And so tonight, I'm super excited because I get to connect with those same sisters, and we're going to talk about where we're going to go. And you'll see in the month of August where we ended up going and what we ended up doing. It's something that could be really exciting. And I would like to share with you a few places that's a hot spot. You know, people say these are some of the best places to take your girlfriends on, you know, as a little adventure. You know, be on the beach if you want to do a 2 or 3 day weekend. And these are relatively inexpensive, okay? These are relatively inexpensive places that you could actually say, hey, we're going to go. Here's one. Clearwater, Florida. Okay? Now, we all love to go to Miami or Orlando, right? I know I'm a Miami. I love South Beach. It's one of my favorite spots to go with my husband. One of my favorite spots to go with my family, my boys. I've never been with my girlfriends, so I would love to do that. But Clearwater, they're saying that's a beautiful place to go. Clearwater, Florida, right? They also said San Antonio, Texas is a nice place to go. Now, I've only been in Texas one time, so I can't really say, oh, yeah. But they said the Riverwalk remains the literal, figuratively, center of the city because it has miles of restaurants, museums, and shopping. A lot of things you could do there. Now, you might say back in Clearwater, like, you know, what we're going to do there? Well, you're like less than 2 hours away. So you could stay. Let's just say you got that 4 day, 3 night. Say you went to Clearwater and you say, listen, we're doing 4 days, 3 nights. Let's take our first day to get in, settle in, check in, enjoy Clearwater. Let's get up in the morning and drive to South Beach, which would be about maybe a 2 to 3 hour drive, and spend the day in South Beach. Enjoy the day and hop in the car and drive back. Finish off our night in Clearwater if you wanted to do that. Or you could say, hey, let's book a night in Clearwater, book a night in South Beach, book a night in Fort Lauderdale. You can do that. That's the beauty of planning. You can do whatever you want to do. It's called planning, ladies and gentlemen. Also, now you know that one spot that everybody knows and a lot of girls take their girls trips is Las Vegas. We hear those funny stories. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas and things of that nature. Vegas is a beautiful place to go. I've never been with my girls. Now, that's another place that would probably be a great outing for a girls trip, but I've never been there. I've only been there with my husband, or I've been there with my family. Not really with my boys, passing through. We spent one night there passing through on our way to Arizona, but Vegas would be a dope place to go. They also suggested that La Quinta, California. They're saying that it's one of America's top golf destinations. Now, I'm not a golfer, but I would learn to golf. I would love to go on the greens, as they say, get dressed up in my little tennis uniform and go out there and try, you know what I'm saying, and golf, you know, and just say, hey, I tried to do it. If nothing else, I'll sit there, you guys golf, and I'll get my libations in, because if you know me, you know I love a good libation. Now, Scottsdale, Arizona. Oh my God. Scottsdale, Arizona. Again, I've never been there with my girlfriends, but I have been there with my husband. I have been there with my family. But they said that it's a beautiful place to be, to soak up the sun and enjoy the art district. They have over 70 galleries, right? Shops, restaurants. Now, here's the thing. I've always wanted to get dressed up. I don't know if anybody really knows this outside of my husband, but I've always wanted to get dressed up and go to an art gallery that serves champagne and walk through and conversate about the art pieces. I love good artwork. And so I could see myself spending a wonderful evening with my girlfriends, walking through the art gallery and enjoying a glass of wine or champagne and having great conversation about some artwork. Another place they said is Springfield, Massachusetts. I've never been there, but they said it's 3 hours away from Manhattan, right? And they said that it's a big place to go if you're looking for museums again. If you're looking for great places to just kind of hang out, spas, ice skating rinks, things of that nature. I'm not an ice skater. If you're into that type of thing, they say it's a great place to go. Look at Portland, Oregon. Now, I will say this. I've never been to Portland, but I have heard from several different people that it's one of the most vibrant cities and they have the most amazing food and art scene. Now, just for that alone, because I'm a foodie, I would be open to going there. Unfortunately, Portland, Oregon was not on the list of my girls to talk about tonight for our girls trip destinations. Now, here's a place that I am familiar with. I would not mind going. It's Charleston, South Carolina. I heard that it is an ideal place for a weekend trip. And I heard that it's very economical. And they have a lot of boutique hotels, if you're into that kind of thing. They also said that they have beautiful museums. They have a lot of beautiful historic houses, you know, parks, gardens, and all that type of stuff if you're into that. I've never been there. Again, I've never been there. They said it's beautiful and very festive, right? And they claim that they have over 100 outstanding barbecue spots. I'm like, okay, really? That's a lot to say, but I can't say yay or nay to that, but that's what's on the list. Now, I have heard of this next place, Destin, Florida. Now, I've never been there, but my older son, Markel, went there with his friend and their family for a family vacation 2 summers ago. And he said, Mom, it's beautiful there. They had an Airbnb and everything. They were right by the beach. They went bike riding on the beach and they had their own pool and grill and they had all the restaurants and shops. Now, that is something I would love to do. But when I did look at that, I ain't gonna lie. I peeked in there. Okay, it was out of the budget in which my girls want to spend for this girls trip. But it could be on our radar for one of our upcoming trips, Destin, Florida. I'm definitely going to bring that up to my girls tonight. I'm definitely going to bring that up to my husband as a family vacation for us. I'm always into something new, but it says that Destin is about 2 hours from Alabama and Georgia. So that's pretty decent if you want to go down to Alabama, or if you're in Alabama, you want to drive over to Destin. They said they have beautiful beaches, amazing spa resorts if you want to go out and chill and, you know, do all of that. And they're known for their seafood, right? They have a couple of spots that's right off the beach, and they're known for their beer. That's what they say they're known. I'm not a beer drinker, but they say they're known for their beer. And the last place I've always wanted to go is New Orleans, Louisiana. I actually want to go there for the Mardi Gras. I've always, and when I seen Girls Trip, the movie, like, I'm a fan. I love Girls Trip, okay? They showed out in that movie. And I imagine just being free and having a great time with your girls and just being zany. We're going to leave the grapefruit alone. We're going to leave that. We're not going to touch into the grapefruit. But on a serious note, they said that it's a beautiful place to be for NOLA weekend, right? It's a getaway. It's not only the weather that's hot, it's the food that's amazing. The city that never sleeps, and it's located, like, you know, through the French corridors. It's a rich place of history. And so I'm like, yeah, you know, and they said it's not going to kill your budget. And if you love Creole food, which I do, I love good Southern, authentic Creole food. They're known for their Creole food. So I said, you know what? That's a nice place to look at. That's another place I would love to check out with my girls for Girls Trip. Opportunities. Like I said, I definitely will bring it up and shoot that in their mindset and say, hey, ladies, what do you think about this? But let me just kind of wind this down and close you out with this. It's important for us as ladies to connect with our peers. We work, we hustle and bustle every single day. Just like it's important to connect with your family if you have a child or children, if you have a spouse or significant other, it's important to connect with them. It's important to make that family time. We work. We don't always play. But the beautiful thing, as I've gotten older, I've learned to mix my playing with my work, business with pleasure. Sometimes I'm on business trips and I bring my family and vice versa. And we end up having a good time. And so I'm excited. Like tonight, I'm in Chicago with my family. We're having a great spring break little getaway. But I'm also going to do some business, right? I got to do some business tonight as I'm recording my podcast show live from Chicago. Let me pause for the call. Shout out to Soul. Oh my God. Soul, Soule in Chicago. Amazing soul food. Definitely. I'm going to be here probably in the next 3 weeks with some girlfriends. It's impromptu girls outing, celebrating one of my girls for my girls circle birthdays, and we're going to have an amazing outing. Like, I can't wait to talk to you about it. I'm going to definitely talk to you guys about it, but we'll be here. And I had such an experience with my family today at Soul that I would not mind telling my girlfriends, like, yo, we need to go there for lunch. I'm full now. Like, my dinner reservations that I'm supposed to have tonight, I'm not going to tell you where, but I always go to this place. If you know me, then you already know where I love to go for dinner. My girls listening or my family and friends that know me, they would already be able to say, she's talking about so-and-so. Because not only do I love to go there every time I'm in Chicago, I also love to introduce everybody to this place. It's an experience. But I'm so full, I don't think I'm going to want to go tonight, because you don't go to this restaurant that I normally go to not hungry. You go there because you ready to embrace the atmosphere, the scenery, the food. You get a lot of food, the atmosphere. It's a whole vibe. But I'm thinking I might just go because I know my husband and, you know, my child would like to go. They also enjoy going to the spot as well. But getting back to Seoul, amazing. We were stalking this restaurant since last year. We wanted to go when I discovered they made fried green tomatoes. And I'm a fan of good fried green tomatoes. The only place I've ever had them, and the first place I ever had them, was Heaven on 7. If you know me and my family are foodies. We used to drive to Chicago just to go to dinner. We would spend the night sometimes, and sometimes we wouldn't, just to come to Heaven on 7, because there was no Heaven on 7 anywhere else but in the Chicago area. And I'm sad that they've closed them all down. I think there might be the first original one, but I think they're temporarily closed, if not permanently. And I'm hoping they will think about it and rethink that and bring it back, because it was simply amazing. But I thought, I'll never have my fried green tomatoes again. And so when I discovered last year that Seoul had them, I promise you, we were headed there. We were going, but we got caught in traffic, and it was terrible. If you know anything about Chicago traffic, it was terrible. So when we got here, we connected with our friend, DJ K Rock, and he had an event that night, and we were here to rock out with him, and I wanted to get my cake because he baked a bomb-ass cake. And so when we got to the hotel, did all that, it was like, okay, we don't have time to go to Seoul. So I was mad. I was bummed out. We didn't have time on the way home because we were on schedule. I think Swift had to perform that night. It was just a lot going on. But let me tell you, and let me be clear. On today, when we arrived in Chicago, we went directly to Seoul. When I tell you, the photos on the Instagram page is a teaser. When I tell you, the food looks just like it does on Instagram in person. Now, you know how sometimes people will bring in professional photographers to take photos of certain food and put it out there so we can go ahead and, oh, I want to get that. And then we show up, you like, this is not what I saw in the photo. Seoul pictures don't do justice for the food, not to mention the taste. I was blessed. Oh my God. I had their soul punch. I had the fried green tomatoes. I had the lollipop lamb chops. If you know me, you know I love lamb chops. I had their macaroni and cheese, their greens, and their cream corn. I ended it with peach cobbler. OMG. When I tell you it was everything, it was everything. So I'm greedy. I digress. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm just saying, as when we come, I wanted to take our girls there. Just another spot. But the importance of connecting with your female friends, your girlfriends, your sister friends, it's important. Is it essential? Yes, it is. It's an essential thing. I think that you each need to take that time. I don't care if it's a staycation. If you get together at somebody's house, they can say, hey, everybody come here. We have pajamas, eat, watch movies, have our libations, whatever we're going to do, have catered dinner, whatever that looks like. If you all get together and get a hotel, get a suite, and y'all, whatever it looks like. If it's a daycation, a staycation, if you are lucky enough to go away for a weekend or a 4-day, 3-night, or even a week, if you can do that, I applaud you. I look at I have a group of amazing women that I know. I have a lot of women that I know that are amazing. And they do a lot of amazing things with their children, with their grown daughters, with their siblings. And I'm just like, I vicariously live through some of them. And I just get inspired and empowered and encouraged. And I'm like, you know what? Let's not just talk about it. Let's be about it. Now, you know how it goes, ladies. Yeah, fellas, y'all know how it goes. When you get ready to do, because it's important for the fellas too to have the fellas trip, girls trip, fellas trip. It's important. You got to balance it out. Ladies, the fellas got to get away too. They got to have that outing. If you concerned and think like, oh, I don't know what he going to be doing when he ain't here, then you don't need to be married to him or being with him. And fellas, if you concerned and you worried, I don't know what she going to do when she ain't around me, what she going to be here, you don't need to be married to her or being with her. You need to be secure in your relationship, firstly. Secondly, you have to know that when you allow yourself to get away, absent makes the heart grow fonder, but it does something for you emotionally and mentally to connect with like-minded spirits, women. I'm going to tell you, the girls trip I took last year, not the one that I took with this set of girls that I'm with, these ladies, but another set of sisters that I hang out with and I travel with, Christina and Melanie. When we went to Mexico last year, it was one of the most inspiring, beautiful trips I've ever taken in my entire life. And I was empowered. Both of these women are entrepreneurs, go-getters. When I tell you, we talked over brunch. Each brunch, we had deep conversation about expanding, growing our brand, stepping out on faith, doing things. And I was having so much life spoken into me. Melanie and Christina were way ahead of the game, doing a whole lot more than I was. And they were speaking life into me. I'm so excited to say that I did a lot of what they talked about and I talked about, even though I had several libations, like I had unlimited mimosas, so you know I was getting it in, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm intoxicated. It was like, I'm relaxed, I'm with my girls, I'm looking at the beach, I'm looking at the sun, all you can eat food, all you can eat drinks, and just being on the other side of the earth, on the other side, not worried about anything. My children were okay, my husband was okay, my family was okay, I was okay. But I was hearing everything that was spoken into my life. And I'm happy to report I launched Cricket Enterprises this year. Shout out to Courtney, Christina, Swifty, which is my husband, Melanie. And I mention these names because they spoke life. They spoke life. They spoke life. They planted seeds. Oh my God. over the years, the last couple of years. But last year, when I was in Mexico, that catapulted me. Branding. Christina Benjamin was all on my ass about branding, the importance of branding. And I'm happy to say that I took a step. And it's a step that I would never regret, and I'm excited that I made. And I want to leave you with this, ladies. If you've never been on a girls' trip, plan one. If you have to take baby steps, do a vacation. Even if it's local. As you expand and you grow, it always has to be a first. To get the kinks out, to get the plan down, to see what works, what doesn't work. And then you get the swing of it. And then before you know it, you'll have phenomenal trips. Trying to have tradition, saying, hey, the first week, like for us, the first week of August is our girls' trip, right? This could be our second one. I'm excited to think every year, the first week of August, no matter where we are in the world, what we're doing, we got to make sure we meet up. I'm excited about that because we live different lives. I know one of our sister friends relocated. I'm looking to relocate out of this specific circle. Then I got another friend who's talking about relocating. But if we say, yo, we can get on Zoom calls and all those things. We can talk, we can group text, we can do all that. Sometimes you might just take a trip. Hey, I'm going to come out and visit you. It don't always got to be a girls trip. And it always got to be like that. However, but if you've got something to look forward to and say, you know what? We're meeting up. No matter what we're doing in our life, we're going to meet up. One time out the year. It's worth it. So I want you to be encouraged, inspired, motivated, and know that, yes, girl trips are important. They're essential. They're well needed and very enjoyable if you're with the right group of girls. I'll also tell you this. On these girls trips, you're going to also learn that sometimes you're not a perfect blend. You're going to also discover sometimes the people you might roll with and think is your girlfriends, y'all really don't have nothing in common and you don't know it. Because it's easy to get hidden and left behind and seeing like, oh, and thinking you fit in somewhere when you really like, I love y'all, but I don't, that's not my thing. And it's okay. That don't mean that we ain't friends. It's just, that's not my forte. Everybody ain't down for traveling. Some people don't like traveling. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to be away from my family. I want to be away from my friend or my significant other or my boo, my kid, my children, blah, 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 my job, whatever. Okay. But for me, I'm down for a girls trip. And I'm down for kicking an annual one. All right? And so on that note, be encouraged, be inspired on this Wind Down Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I hope you took some notes. I hope you heard a couple of states that you might say, hey, I'd love to go and check that out. Means of travel, Amtrak, Greyhound, take a bus trip. Hell, cars, ain't nothing like a road trip. Of course, the plane. Cruises, as they're opening back up. Some people still get afraid to go on cruises. We're looking at maybe doing one in June. We'll see. But open up the opportunity because guess what? Tomorrow's not promised. You want to live your best life every day of your life because every day of your life is your best life. I'll see you soon.